Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's our topic is rotational mechanical system. In the last lecture, we have studied about the translational mechanical system, and today's our topic is rotational mechanical system. Actually, the rotational mechanical system can be handled in the same way as translational mechanical system. The difference between the two systems is in translational system we deals with force, while in rotational mechanical system we deal with torque. And the second difference is between the two is in translational mechanical system we are concerned with the translational displacement, and in rotational mechanical system the output, or we deal with the rotational angular displacement. Rest is the same for mechanical and rotational, translational mechanical and rotational mechanical system. We have already studied the example of translational mechanical system. The example of translational mechanical system is the suspension of your cars, and the rotational mechanical system is any moving shaft. Is the example of rotational mechanical system. Here are the components of rotational mechanical system. These are the same as in the translational mechanical system. It's spring, viscous damper, and we can replace mass with the inertia in the rotational mechanical system. In front of their symbols, we have written the relation between the torque and angular displacement. It's like the same. We have studied the relation between the force and the displacement, and here it's between the torque and the angular displacement. It's same like in translational mechanical system. For a spring, we have f of t is equal to kx of t, while here force will be replaced by the torque, and k is the spring constant or stiffness, and in translational, as there will be the displacement, that will be the x of t. Here is angular displacement, that is theta. Same in the case with the viscous damper. The applied force is torque and the displacement is theta 1, and the relation is the torque is equal to d, is the constant, or you can say it's a coefficient of viscous friction. As in translational mechanical system we have studied f of v, coefficient of viscous friction. Here we write it as a d. Same in translational we have studied about the mass, while here we deal with the inertia, as the we will deal with the shaft as or angular mass, while in translational we deal with the mass. Okay, here there is not a major difference between the two. If you understand the translational mechanical system, then it will be easy for you guys to understand the rotational mechanical system. Here it's written the characteristic equation which we have studied here. It's written in the time domain, then we convert it into the frequency domain or s domain. It's k theta of s, and it's as its first order equation. We replace it with the s d, and again theta of s, and similarly we replace this to the second order Laplace transform, and here it's written as the impedance. Okay, now we will study the free body diagram of the translational mechanical system. As in translational mechanical system we studied that number of equations depend upon the number of freely moving masses or degree of freedom. Similarly, in translational mechanical system we again deal with the same degree of freedom. We again deal with the degree of freedom. What is the degree of freedom of the system? And if the system has 1 degree of freedom, and then number of equation will be 1, and if it has 2 degree of freedom, then the number of equation will be 2, and so on. Okay, now we will focus on this diagram. It is important to understand because this is redrawn here. How it has been redrawn here. First of all, it's a bearing. Look at this. Let me move. Yeah, this is bearing. What is the bearing? You have studied the bearing. Basically, bearing are the constant relative movement to desired motion and reduce friction from the moving part. The example of bearing, if you guys ride on the bicycle, then you should know about the ball bearing. There are small balls in the bicycle which reduce the friction, which help to reduce the friction while we pedal the cycle. We will drive the cycle. Same, it's a bearing which reduces the friction, surface friction between the two. Okay, and here is J1. J1 is the inertia, and this is J2. And here is the torsion. What is torsion? Do you know what is the torsion? Basically, torsion is the twisting of object due to an applied force. Actually, when we apply force on any object, there is a torsion or twisting of the object. Actually, the object is not so rigid. If it's much rigid, that there can be damage or it can be break from the center or any part. There is a flexibility between it's a little bit flexible or little bit twisting when we applied a torque on it. So I have redrawn this diagram in this form. This is the fixed port, okay, and this is the D1. Actually, the bearing will act as a viscous damper. Okay, then comes J1. Okay, the torsion between the J1 and J2 will act as a spring, and I have redrawn it as a K or a spring. And then comes to the J2. Here's the J2, and the moment or angular displacement of the J2 is theta 2, and the angular displacement of J1 is the theta 1. Now we have drawn our again, sorry, the last one is here, the end of second part. It's also a bearing, and we draw it as a viscous damper D2. Okay, now the torque is applied on near the J1 as shown in this figure. Here torque is applied, and we have shown the torque here. After the bearing, we have after the, or here it's a viscous damper, we have applied the torque. Okay, and the applied force is tau of t, and there is 2 degree of freedom. What does it mean by degree of freedom? You should know if you understand the previous lecture. The degree of freedom is if one body can be moved freely without affecting the other. Means J1 can be rotated separately while J2 is held still, and J2 can be moved separately while J1 is held still. So it has the 2 degree of freedom. Okay, it will take 2 simultaneous equations to write to solve the system. Okay, it means it has 2 degree of freedom. We need 2 equations of motion to solve the equation. And what we have to find? We have to find the theta 2 by torque. Means output we are taking at the theta 2, and input is torque, which is applied at J1. Now first of all, we will study how can we write the equations of this system by using free body diagram. And when we'll clear by our concept, then we will study how can we write the equation directly as we have written in electrical system and translational mechanical system. Okay, we have to find this. We will find all the torque on J1 and J2 separately. Basically, we will write 2 equations, one for the J1 and other will be the J2. Same as we have done it in the translational mechanical system. Okay, yeah, here it's a J1. Okay, now what type of look at this. The torque is acting in a clockwise direction, right? And due to this torque, the motion of, or the angular displacement theta 1 is also in clockwise direction, while the other forces or resistance forces or impedances, what type of impedances are acting at this point? There will be the three impedances, one on this inertia or on this J1, one will be due to this D1, other will be due to this spring K, and the third one will be due to this inertia J. Now we will write the equation of these three impedances in that time in the frequency domain. Okay, this is the torque on J1 due only to the rotation of J1. Actually, in this we are considering that J1 is moving or and J2 is still. Okay, plus we will consider the effect of J1 when J2 is moving and J1 is still. Here torque on J1 due to only the rotation of J2. It means that J1 is not moving. Then the theta 1 is again in the clockwise direction, and the force between the J1 and J2 is only this K, and it will be acting in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, sorry, it will be acting in clockwise direction. It will be acting in the clockwise direction. Actually, when theta when J2 is moving and J1 is still, then the force will be in the clockwise direction. Now we will sum all the forces of this. First, when J1 is moving, J2 is still. Second, when J2 is still, J2 is moving and J1 is still. And these are the all forces acting on the J1, all torque on J1. We have combined these two diagrams. Okay, now we will check the equation for the J2. In J2, you can see there is no torque directly acting on the J2, so applied force is 0, or you can say no torque is acting, while the displacement due to the applied torque, this applied torque is theta 2 in clockwise direction, and the forces opposing the angular displacement or is the inertia J2 and the damping force D2 and the spring and the stiffness of string this K. These forces will be in the opposite direction of the theta 2. Okay, these will be in anti-clockwise direction. Plus this condition is when J2 is moving and J1 is still, and plus this one will be the when J1 is moving and J2 is still. Torque on J2 due to only the rotation of J1. Same concept as we have studied earlier. Now we'll combine these two diagrams, this one and torque on J2 due to the motion of J2 and torque on J2 due to the only rotation of J1. We will combine these two and we will get this resultant. Okay, the direction of angular displacement is clockwise, and the direction of K theta 1 is also clockwise, while the direction of other forces are in anti-clockwise, all forces on J2. Now we can write the equation by using these two diagrams. These are the final free body diagram we have drawn for J1 and J2. This is the total torque on J1 and this one is the torque on J2. Now we can write the equation simply. We will add the anti-clockwise forces and subtract the clockwise force. Right? Three forces are acting in clockwise: J1 S2 theta 1, D1 S1 theta 1, and K theta 1. And which force is acting in in clockwise direction? That is K theta 2. And applied torque is equal to T. Or on in the next torque on J2, that will be equal to the forces acting in clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. Same as we have written the equation 1, we will write the equation 2, and the applied torque on the J2 is 0, as there is no direct torque applied on it. Now we will write the two equations. These are the two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. Then we will put this equation in matrix form. This will be the equation of this is the theta equation, first equation, theta 1 and theta 2 component. This again from the second equation, theta 1 and theta 2 components. and here are the forces T and T. Now we have to find theta 2 by k. We will replace this second column by this forces, and we will solve it, and we will get k. By solving, we will get the required transfer function, that will be the equal to the k by theta. Okay, clear? I hope this will be clear to you. And now we will study how can we write the equation directly. This is the same as we have studied earlier for mechanical transitional mechanical system and electrical system. First of all, for J1 we will write the sum of impedances connected to the motion of theta 1 into theta 1 minus sum of impedances between theta 1 and theta 2 into theta 2, and this will be equal to the sum of applied torques on at theta 1. Similarly, for J2 we will write minus sum of impedances between theta 1 and theta 2 into theta 1 plus sum of impedances connected to the motion of theta 2 into theta 2 plus sum of applied torques. Now we'll write the equation of same system by inspection method, and we will see the result of both will be the same, means the result we got from the free body diagram and the result or the equation we get from the inspection method, both will be the same. Now you can see this is the sum of inspection method we will find. Okay, now we will see the for the J1, as we have seen that for inspection method there will be sum of impedances connected to the motion of theta 1 into theta 1, and see what impedances are connected with the motion of at theta 1. That will be this damping force, inertia, and this spring K. Okay, and now minus sum of impedances between theta 1 and theta 2. Theta 1 and theta 2, there is only one impedance common between theta 1 and theta 2, that is the k theta 2 equal to T. This will be the equation 1, and this will be the same equation as we have written in the previous equation. You can see, yeah, this check this equation. This equation is the same as we get it from the free body diagram, by inspection method. Similarly, for J2, for the second equation, we will write sum of impedances between theta 1 and theta 2 with the negative sign. Theta 1 plus sum of impedances connected to the motion of theta 2 equal to theta 2 plus sum of impedance applied force torques at theta 2. Actually, the sign positive or negative comes with respect to this torque. If applied torque is at theta 1, then theta 1 will be positive, and all other impedances will be negative. Similarly, when the applied torque is at theta 2, then we will write the impedances connected to the motion of theta 2 will be positive, rest will be in negative. Similarly, if we have 3 inertia, then we can write the equation similarly, and this equation 2 is a similar as we have written previous by using the free body diagram. Okay, hope it's almost clear to you guys, as it's much similar to the transitional mechanical system. Now it's a time to check what you have learned. Now you have to write the equation of the given network by using simple inspection method. If you can write the equation of this system, you can easily find the transfer function of this system, either it's theta 3 by T torque, or theta 2 by torque, or theta 1 by whatever the question, whatever you have to find, you can easily find. The main problem is to write the equation. Okay, let me tell you, it's very easy. For first equation, you will write the sum of impedances connected to the motion of theta 1 into theta 1 plus sum of minus with sum of impedances common between the theta 1 and theta 2 and into theta 2. Then it will come sum of impedances common between the theta 2 and theta 3 into theta 3 equal to the sum of applied torque at theta 1. Here it comes sum of impedances. Similarly, for the J2, you can write minus sum of impedances between theta 1 and theta 2 plus sum of impedances connected to the motion of theta 2 into theta 2 minus sum of impedances between theta 2 and theta 3 into theta 3. That will be equal to the sum of applied torques at theta 2. Similarly, for theta 3 or for J3, you can write equation minus sum of impedances common between theta 3 and theta 1 minus sum of impedances common between the theta 2 and theta 3 plus sum of impedances common connected to the motion of theta 3 into theta 3 equal to the sum of applied torque. Now, how many forces are connected? For the first equation, there will be 1, 2 and 3 forces, and a common force will be merged between theta 1 and theta 2, and there will be zero common force between theta 1 and theta 3. Let me show you the equation. Yeah, here it comes. Look, with the motion of theta 1, 3 forces are connected. Then between theta 2 and theta 3, there is only one force, and there is zero force between the theta 1 and theta 3. Similarly, for theta 3, it will be 3 forces with the theta 3, one force common between the theta 2 and theta 3, and only zero force between the theta 3 and theta 2. And for the middle force is the J2, inertia is the J2, and it has one force common between theta 1, one force common between the theta 3, and 3 forces connected to the motion of theta 2. Look at the picture. Yeah, this one force is common between the theta 2 and theta 3, one force is common between the theta 2 and impedance is common between the theta 1 and theta 2, and the impedance connected to the motion of theta 3, it's this damping force, this inertia, and again the damping force, and the torque is applied only on the J1 or theta 1. So the force column of equation 1 will be equal to the T of S, while the other will be the 0 0. Okay, it's clear now. I think it's enough for today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will study the transfer function for the system with gears. Do the practice problems relevant to this topic we have covered till date. We must cover the electrical system, translational mechanical system, rotational mechanical system, do all the end problems, skill assessment, and examples we have done in the lecture. And let me know if you feel difficulty in solving any end problem or skill assessment. Then we will discuss it later in any interactive session, either it's online class or it will be face-to-face class in our department. Okay, class, thank you. See you inshallah next lecture. Allah Hafiz.